seconds remaining.
But then where do you put the Beastmaster is the question.
Well, you play a
5 seconds
Bloodseeker
remaining.
1.
I feel like Bloodseeker into a PA is also free though.
Yes. But Beastmaster 3, Monkey 4, Bloodseeker 1 with the Enchantress is fine. And then you just look for your Yopaj hero, someone who can start fights. Like we saw... Yep. I don't remember who was playing it, but we saw a Phantom Assassin plus a hero that gets heavily countered by Bloodseeker, and that game looked impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, in lane, it's okay a little bit, just because you can at least use your blink strike to be able to get out of the blood right most of the time. But you know, it means that you're sacrificing your potential to get last hits if that's the case, and then later on, doesn't matter if you're BKB'd or not, just rupture, and then PA's ability to just run around in team fights is severely hindered. And this is against, you know, multiple heroes that are kind of hard to kill. You know, the Enchantress, unless she gets one shot, is probably going to be fine. Monkey King, you're going to have vision of the enemy team before they have vision of you. And Beastmaster, of course, just helps with that even further with the Hawk.
why do you feel like they've gone for such a greedy draft when you see a lineup on Boom that can end the game early? Like when I see an Enchantress Beastmaster, I'm worried about my objectives. I'm worried about the enemy team not being reliant on cooldowns and just, you know, taking the map. My God. This makes me feel really dumb.
A little bit. But maybe we're the Giga Chads. Maybe we're the Galaxy Brains. And they just forgot that this Bloodseeker hero exists. Hello, Boom. I know I told you about the banana. I told you to pick the Monkey King for my banana snack, but maybe my second messages didn't come through. In terms of your question about, you know, being able to address this early game, I mean, maybe they have faith that they'll just be able to delay it out. You know, maybe Pangolier will go for this like bit more of like a lane shoving build. Maybe we'll see a Maelstrom as opposed to any kind of Blink Dagger here, and just try and be super greedy with the farm that you've got. It is a recipe for the game to end in 25 minutes. I'm not counting that out at all.
Honestly, I do like the Grimstroke though. It provides you another BKB piercing control versus the Rolling Thunder. I think if you also link the PA up in a fight, that's
can't blink
not what she wants, because she wants to be mobile. You've got a great combo with the Beastmaster. Lane shove, which you were kind of needing from your other heroes, like Enchantress, Beast, don't particularly have that. Like Beast kind of, but Grims can do it a lot more effectively. And I think it's just now, like we were wanting an answer to the Pango, and they've gone it for in separate roles, and they've also gone for it with some, you know, synergy with the Beastmaster. So I really, really do like the Grimstroke, even though they've kind of shied away from what we thought they were going to go for. But we're looking for some position 2s now. Polaris have the next pick out. They actually believe this is still, what do they think? They think this is a Mag 3 Pango support?
Yeah. That's looking like the plan for me. It could be the other way around. You never know. I think it's going to completely depend on how they look to round out this draft. Remember the thing that I was talking about, Boom have the last pick overall. So you need to consider that this might be a Monkey King mid. So you can't pick anything that's going to get hard countered by it. And they go for the Queen of Pain. So I like that from Polaris. Gives them that gap close, gives them a little bit of lane shove. You know, it's not the greatest hero at being able to do it, but at least you don't lose that matchup if it was, for example, a hero that's weak against a melee hero that's weak against the Monkey King mid matchup.
Well, Boom are going to need some position 2 to be able to provide some control versus the Quap.
I mean, even just now, like you were talking about the Grimstroke value that you've got, it's even better now with the Queen of Pain. Also, another one of these heroes that wants to be mobile and a great target for the Phantom's Embrace as well.
Is there anyone you can pair mid that can also use the Soulbind, or are we just looking for more like a direct counter to the Quap?
I don't think you need more than the Raw, to be honest, in terms of locking it down. I think it's just the Leash that's the super value thing coming out here. I mean, they're going to get the Dragon Knight, which is, you know, nice. And are we predicting a 25-minute game here, Aries, for Boom taking it out? Or do you think Polaris are going to be able to dodge this one and be able to draw it that little bit later, get some of their timings, and be able to address what Boom have? I want to see if this Pango is a core or a support. That'll depend on what I think here. I think Pango has to be a core.
Why do you feel like he has to be a core this game?
you need items that can assist with shoving out lanes, whether that be Blink Dagger or Maelstrom. Just something that can keep them away from you for that extra 30 seconds that Natsumi might need to be able to put some pressure on the other side of the map,
10 seconds
or
remaining.
to, get his item a little bit sooner so that he can look to join this team fight. It's actually a
5
Mac
seconds
Magnus
remaining.
coming through here. Yep,
Oh,
so
is this a
3
Boomy
Pango.
Quap? Okay, yeah, they did it last Pro Series where they ran the Queen of Pain as a 4.
Don't hate this. Don't hate how they've changed things around. Obviously, they wanted that little bit of flexibility for themselves as well. So Boomy, I mean, you're not going to be able to do the greatest job as this position 4 Queen of Pain at being shoving out lanes. That's the issue, right? Like, you're not tanky at all. And I feel like they've got plenty of catch on Boom right now. So even though I really rate Boomy as a player, I feel like he could be in store for a lot of deaths this time around. And I really want to see Nico go for that Maelstrom build because Mac, again, as a Magnus, you obviously are going to have a lot more farm. You're going to be able to be that beefy strength hero on the front lines, but in terms of being able to stop a push, not so much, right? Like, you're out of position once. You've got Monkey King that can look to join you. You've got multiple stuns. You've got tower push. So, you might be able to get the creep wave off, but if you do that, then the tower's still going to die. So with that being said, I'm going to go Boom. I think Polaris, if they itemize correctly and if they can avoid dying a lot in the early game, then they're in an okay spot to be able to come back, but it's a big hill to have to climb.
It's a very, very big hill. Well, we'll see how they're going to fare here. Boom. I mean, quite the lineup where you can take these very, very early objectives, which feels like it's going to be quite an issue because Polaris, they just want as much space as possible. You want all your towers up so you can just freely farm, not really be contested, but it doesn't feel like that's a game where that will happen.
No, definitely not. We're actually seeing a Tim's Enchantress as well, so I want to see how well he looks to trade against the Queen of Pain. Obviously, Quap has that Shadow Strike, so one of the few, I guess, quote-unquote, pos 4s or supports that would be able to trade favorably against the Enchantress, at least super early on, just with the healing component of the Shadow Strike. But I feel like he's probably not going to look to trade on Tim's Enchantress, so he might not even opt to go top. But I feel like it's just about preventing Nico. That's the important thing right now. You don't want this Pangolier to be able to influence a few of these early team fights that Polaris are going to look to attend, and you also don't want him building up into that Maelstrom so that he can stop your push. Am I crazy, or like, I want to see like Maelstrom Ags or something like that. Just everything about stopping the push, basically.
Yeah, I feel like you have to try and go some set of items to at least stop this game from being ended early. I mean, what those items are going to be is a big question, because it doesn't feel like it's a free Pango game. I mean, it's not the free Phantom Assassin game either as well, considering all their BKB control. It is at least going to enable him to go a little bit more greedy, I think, with his itemization, considering he doesn't have to rush the Battle Fury, but I mean, even then, it's still not going to be... Like, how realistic is it, the fact that he won't get all the empowers consistently? I mean, this is your position 2 Magnus. He wants to play for his own game.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Especially when you're not wanting to group up against Boom. Like, someone obviously has to try and stop the push that they're looking to do, but it's not going to be PA, like, at least until you've got 1, maybe 2 big items. Let's say the Desolator, you could look to maybe pop one of the backlines. Let's say the Grimstroke, for example, or the Monkey King if he dives a little bit too deep outside the Wukongs, because probably not killing the DK.
Beastmaster just gave 2 hits to Mac with his boar and then just leaves mid, and meanwhile we also have an aggro tri-lane down bot. So Natsumi against the Monkey King is... my god, this is a strong tri-lane from Boom.
It is, for sure. You're not getting a whole lot of farm up here. I mean, FBZ, he's going to have to position himself a little bit more defensively, obviously wanting to dodge out that Queen of Pain a little bit with the Shadow Strike Harass, but see how much they're actually able to get done with here, with Tim's looking to get some body blocks off onto the small camps, obviously not wanting to let them refresh the lane equilibrium.
So why is Dire not just placed a preemptive sentry down at the hard camp? Like, you have a... If you got 1 pullback now, considering you have an extra support, this lane's over for Natsumi. Now you just completely hold creep equilibrium in your side. They're going to do it now, but I feel like I think
Feels
it
a
should have
little
been
late.
done. It should have been done instantly. Radiant are very weak regardless early. Like, I think a Queen of Pain as a support needs levels, and I don't feel like you're strong in a tri lane.
I mean, that plus you've got an Enchantress, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're not able to get the pull off, you'll at least get one of these creeps that are able to join you. Instead, Tim's is going to go back to the jungle. He'll take the Alpha Wolf and look to try and maybe build up his level 2 to do more damage. But this doesn't really accomplish what you wanted with being able to come down to this bottom side of the lane, only just hitting up onto level 2. So you've already given Polaris a little bit of that experience lead.
Let's see what's happening up top.
I said it was important Nico was able to... sorry, it was important for Boom to prevent Nico farming. Well, he's at the top of the last hits and net worth right now. Sorry, not last hits, but net worth he definitely is. So he's going to get a lot of those levels. He's building into the Arcane Boots. He just wants to be spamming the Swashbuckle off cooldown. I'm telling you, this is a Arcane Boots Maelstrom build.
Yeah, and that's going to enable like a pretty early Lotus Orb more than likely from Nico. I think he needs one defensive item really, really early because of how they've drafted to deal with the Rolling Thunder. I mean, we just saw the impact of that last game as Phantom Assassin in some form of trouble here. Just out to safety, but they are running real low on resources to keep Natsumi afloat. I mean, no selves, 2 tangos on CML, but this lane is not getting easy, and they're not even bringing Boomy down bottom as well.
Max doing a pretty good job in mid lane, though. Look to take out one of the couriers, that isn't ideal.
Do you feel like there's any kill threat in this lane? Like maybe a mag skewer back is hold that thought. Bottom lane should have our first blood. Tims will find it. Natsumi even still chased under the tower. Tim's got to look for the kill. He's got the Hadouken back up. Maybe with the stroke of fate. A banger. Not going to continue to follow the Enchantress, but I mean, Natsumi's just... This is no lane for you. He's got another Hadouken
again.
Wait,
Get him.
no!
Hey!
He had a couple of seconds left before the creep died, and... Okay, so tell me, why are they not bringing Boomy down bot? They might get a kill on FBZ, which it looks like
Maybe they will
will.
after the kill.
He's got Fairy Fire, Tower Attributes as well. Is that going to be enough? He tries to block himself in. Honestly, Nico's pretty stuck here. The help of the boar and the tower, my god. I mean, he doesn't get the experience, but the fact that he's 2v1 and still gets the kill.
Yeah, very well worth it. So I'm sure Boomy might look to just soak up this experience a little bit. He doesn't want to take away any of the farm that Pango is going to be able to claim, both in terms of experience and levels, but sorry, experience and net worth. But might be forced to, unfortunately. Level 4 Boomy. I mean, if he's able to quickly join in on this bottom lane, that could quickly turn the tide a little bit more in Polaris's favor. I mean, the downside is that he's so low on mana. He gets refreshed by the Arcane Boots a little bit, but could look to join them maybe once he finishes up that Urn of Shadows up top.
Bottom lane.
For another dive here.
Get aggressive online. Polaris just overstepping the boundary.
Seen a lot of their smells
to
though.
be punished, but CML is out to safety. Okay, so yeah, they didn't have Tims nearby to utilize the advantage they had. I just want to quickly mention that last time we saw Boomy in Pro Series 8 play the Queen of Pain as a 4, he went for a 2-1-2 build and then started to max out the Scream once he had a point in the ultimate. And I'll bring up his itemization in a sec. I don't think a Bang's going to get a kill. He went Tranks earned Yule's
FBZ might be in trouble though. Up top.
He is. I mean, a Bang's going to start to show himself here. I don't think any abilities are going to keep FBZ alive. Wonder if they can now look to bring down the Grimstroke as well, Nico.
Use the Arcane
Doesn't have
Boots,
any
Nico.
abilities to play with. Nico just getting out to safety. The Tango regen gives Boomy a double.
Salving him up, so top lane going very well. He's still going for that Blink Dagger. Again, I don't hate it just because of what I was talking about before, right? Like, you can at least shove out waves and have a teamfight presence, and then just blink back to safety. So, I feel like it's okay. I'd still love to see the Maelstrom, though.
Oh, CML should be dead here. A straight breathe fire from afar as Yopaj find it. It's with a catapult wave. It's very weak, but I love this. I mean, we've seen the emphasis that you have. DK hitting that ultimate by the first catapult timer. You've got rotations coming through from the supports, and just make it so effective to be able to find this early tower.
Response though.
They will drop the RP before it comes off. Europage at least does get the Dragon Tail, but with CML landing that 2-man Earth Spike's gonna prove disaster. And Natsumi even looking to get involved as well as Polaris a successful tower defense.
No, I really like that rotation coming through from the Polaris supports. They save the tower. I mean, Enchantress probably got the best creep you could probably have for this kind of push, right? Just very tanky. The Dark Troll Summoner, you've got the 2 skeletons that can take up more tower hits to assist with protecting that siege creep. Basically, the only thing better is a Mud Golem that you might be able to claim, but... Bang. He's getting dived a little bit here. Another good early game coming out for Polaris.
Even Mac swing on over from the eastern side. Now going for Europage is
here as well.
A bit more of a difficult attempt. Mac does have a double damage rune in the arsenal. They're even going to TP and CTM, so all the position ones looking to get involved at the party in the mid lane, but CTM recognizes he will provide no assistance. And now even Tim's coming the area. Just that little shockwave slow will pick up a secondary kill as Polaris still looking to stick around. Who would have thought they would be the ones putting more damage onto the tower?
For sure. I mean, and this is after a lane that went really poorly on the bottom side. You know, Natsumi, he's a good 1,000 gold behind his counterpart in the Monkey King. But, you know, if you're able to take a mid-tier 1 tower, you know, they're able to recover it. They're able to adapt their gameplay a little bit. Still yet to hit the level 6, but... it's looking okay now for Polaris, especially now that he's hit up onto that level 6, so might assist him with his farming patterns a little bit more.
I feel like, when would you ever expect that to happen? Like you said, Natsumi got bodied down bottom, but some great rotations, Boomy getting involved early, those, you know, really that double kill top helping him out with the levels to play aggressive. Now, meanwhile, we do have to say that CTM did take this bottom tower, and I feel like Boom aren't too worried because of the lineup they have. Probably the 10-minute catapult timing, they can very easily look to take the tier 1 mid. They might not even need it because the beautiful thing about having a DK is you're not reliant on the creeps, you know, spawn time to play aggressive on towers and get these objectives.
They're pinging at CTM a little bit here, but I feel like, you know, you've got the backup to be able to play this aggressively here. He wants to just continue to play around this siege creep wave. You've even got, you know, you can see here the range creep looking to tank up a lot of the hits. They do have the
Nico's going to come down. They'll look to start on Europage. CTM might have to use a very defensive Wukong just to get Europage out to safety. Boomy's also level 6 too. So we'll see how much impact this Sonic Wave will provide them, but it's so difficult running inside the command. A beautiful layer of the control as CTM will give Europage enough time to get out to safety. Now that's a Rolling Thunder on cooldown, but Tim's going to be caught out. A beautiful Sonic Wave map, even blocking off the retreat as well. We'll miss the Sonic Wave, so they won't be able to find a bang, but also CTM, they've actually run into the Monkey King. It'll attempt to TP out the stuns. It's just it. CML, the timing with the Hex to cancel the TP.
Things going pretty well for Polaris, you know, being able to respond effectively, get the key kills, especially the ones that are continuously looking to farm. And, I mean, even just forcing out things like that Elder Dragon form, like the Wukongs, which makes you feel a lot more comfortable now to spend the next minute farming. You know, there's no real huge push that's going to come your way. FBZ, he's finished up the Helm of the Dominator, but without those, you know, team fight abilities, he doesn't want to just throw his life away by trying to solo push a tower.
And quite often the Beastmaster doesn't want to be playing around top. Like, yes, they got the favorable matchup down bottom for CTM, but it just makes it really awkward with the Beastmaster and how he wants to be playing around these objectives. Like, you can never put as much emphasis and attention to take the enemy team's offlane tower.
Well, they drew a circle around this Beastmaster. They realized that he is a key threat that you need to try and deal with. I wonder if they might even look to rotate a few heroes towards this top side. I think that might be a Blink Dagger completed for the Magnus. 10.5 minutes here for Mac. He's got the RP available. You've got a level 7, it's going to be, Queen of Pain, once he uses the Tome of Knowledge. So a ton of damage that Boomy's able to output. Like I said, I really rate Boomy as a player. 6-1 and 2 so far on this support Queen of Pain.
Mac will find him. Beautiful timing here from a Bang Silence will give Boom an opportunity to retreat, at least to the safety of that tier 1 tower, but a just overwhelming amount of numbers from Polaris. Are they actually not going to dive? Okay, they're going to hold off. A little bit worried that they don't see anyone else across the map. They've got to be fast with this because this is giving Boom ample time now to shove in mid. And yeah, you're seeing the rotations come out. CML's gonna TP, so will Natsumi.
I don't know if you got the damage to take out Yopaj just with the two of you.
Oh, well, Natsumi feels like he's got the damage for the Grimstroke. Inkswell's gonna provide some nuisance here. A bang not gonna be out to safety here as a Shockwave gets it. So a 1-for-1 trade.
Alright. I mean, you don't get the thing that you really wanted, though, which was the Beastmaster, right? Like, he's able to rotate through, you're able to get the return kill onto the Lion, and you don't lose your tower. So I feel like Polaris things could have gone much better than them, and it's something as simple as just not getting the skewer off in time before the Grimstroke was able to get the silence onto you.
You got to be really happy, though, for Radiant, because quite often a mag lineup is super greedy, and you're not the ones making plays, and you can quite often lose a lot of your towers early. But the fact that they're able to keep this tier 1 mid alive still at the moment, and you've got PA who's farming, I mean, 4th in net worth, higher than the enemy team's carry when he had a atrocious laning stage.
Yeah, he was 1,000 gold behind, so the fact that Natsumi's been able to come back, he's stacking up for himself. They're playing really well around this as well. Magnus constantly being in position to get the empower off as much as possible. Topside. This would be a big death on Boomy, though.
Very high level here from the Queen of Pain. Yopaj and CTM combining together. Meanwhile, they've always got to keep tabs on mid. Mac finding the jump on FBG. He's actually just going to drop the RP along with the Rolling Thunder. So a couple of ultimates committed, but it looks like they'll get nothing out of it until CML comes over with a TP outpost. FBZ has no more assistance. A lot of ultimates dropped though. That's Finger, Rolling Thunder, and RP.
It is, so I feel like he's just going to respawn, come straight back mid, and look to continue the push. You know, you don't have to worry too much about what the turnaround potential is. You've also got that Elder Dragon form, so Yopaj, he's going to look to join together with the rest of his team. Unfortunate that he's not level 12 just yet, but they'll feel very confident in being able to just go for these kills. So they
look
get the
to try and reveal the blink.
Don't.
CML is out. I think you have to be very confident, though, from Polaris with how you've been able to take the laning stage in the early game straight to boom. Like, game 1, they had the advantage. Game 2, they've got the advantage now. It just comes down to how they can execute through these later stages. And do you feel like they probably have a lineup that's going to be more favorable as the game goes on as well?
On Polaris?
Yes, on Polaris.
Absolutely. You know, it feels like Boomer on a bit of a timer here. You know, some of these heroes drop off, especially compared to the likes of a going hunting for Nico, compared to a PA and a Magnus, right? Pangolier, Rolling Thunder feels like it's almost always going to be effective. You know, you do have to deal with things like the Primal Roar, which we just saw previously. And this is also a support Queen of Pain. So, gone with a bit of a greedier lineup. Boomy's making it pay off so far. But if you let it get to the late game, that's like, you know, essentially half a core that you've got there. A big portion of extra damage that you're able to have come out.
Can't win a war without money.
It's completely different build than what we saw Boomy last time with this co-op in Pro Series A. Again, he put a lot more emphasis on maxing out Scream and like earn Aether Lens, early Yules, and the Axe too.
Tim's just farming in the unsafe area. If he dies, he dies, but it pops a 5-man smoke, and they're also going to be able to spot out that... did they put the Observer Ward up here on the high ground as well? I can't tell.
Radiant? Yes, they did.
Yeah. So, double value there for Tim's.
When can we see... Oh, what?
Oh,
They've also found FBZ, yeah? Looks like he just used the Roar. TP is also not available, so... Another key pick-off. I mean, it just feels like it's almost a replica of Game 1. I mean, Radiant have a much more greedier lineup and haven't got the Deso and Lucky Shot. They can probably take Roche if the... Oh, it actually doesn't have a level in Lucky Shot, but surely soon, if a fight breaks out by the Roche P, if they get 3 kills, they can definitely lead it into it. But I want to ask, what do you feel like Boom need to do to take this tier 1 tower mid? Because they've kind of been butting their heads there for a while. And looking at their lineup, they have a good lineup to take objectives. But what are we waiting for them to finally put the foot to the throat and get this tower?
Honestly, good question, because I feel like they had that window when all of those ultimates were used just to get a Beastmaster previously. You know, this time around, they were able to kill it without popping too much of anything. You know, so...
Might be in trouble top. It's just Yopaj in a bang at the moment. And without this Echo Saber, it's not as tanky. They're even going to try and push him back with the Sonic Wave, but now they're soul binded together, which doesn't give much of an escape opportunity for Mac. But meanwhile, they'll just layer down the RP and the help in Natsumi, and all of a sudden, Mac's out to safety, and the rest of Boom won't be as fortunate. 2 down already. Tim's is going to join them in the afterlife. Maybe that's the fight they're looking for.
They're
just going to blink in. Yopaj still got his own blink available, so he's out, but...
I mean, this is a level 10 support Queen of Pain against a mid level 12. He's just hitting up onto it, but I feel like I called out Yopaj being level 11 about 3 or 4 minutes ago. So his his experience has certainly stagnated. So you just see the difference there in being able to take a team fight when you've got all of these ultimates, which is why I was so surprised that they went for that smoke play towards the bottom side of the map when they had all of these ultimates on Polaris' side on cooldown. Instead, they're still going to have that Glyph of Fortification. They're going to try and push it down here with the Tomato. Going to get the last hit, and it will. Tim's with the last hit onto the mid tower, so they eventually get it. But this is like a Beastmaster, Dragon Knight, Enchantress draft that's only taken 2 towers at 17 minutes. That is very slow.
Yeah, that's not good at all. And you take a look at the difference in game from position 5 Lions from game 1 to game 2, compared to CML and compared to a Bang. That's already a blink completed. 17 minutes in, that's real solid. I mean, you got to highlight it. Bang had like 9 deaths at this stage in game 1, so it really wasn't looking too good. But once he picked up the blink, we saw his plays was a huge factor in why Boom could come back into that game. But now, Polaris have a 4,000 net worth lead, and that's without CML being able to make a lot of the plays.
Yeah, for sure. So now that they've got that extra tool, honestly, it's not even just about the Finger of Death. It's the initial lockdown. You want to keep picking off these key heroes that are core to Boom trying to achieve some of their main objectives. If you can catch CML, fantastic, obviously. But FBZ on his own is totally fine. They can't push without him. He didn't even go for the full Helm of the Overlord build. He's going into a Solar Crest. He wants to enable his team for the fights right now because he feels like he can't continue to wait because they're going to start reaching these timings. Natsumi, he's become a legitimate threat right now after, like we've been saying, a horrible early game. Level 14, he's also finished up the S&Y already, 18 minutes in.
Yeah. And we haven't put as much emphasis on how CTM's been going across the map. Looks like he's working on the Desolator. Do you still feel like this Monkey King, how is he going to be able to provide his impact throughout this game?
It still does feel just very push-oriented, right? I feel like this is all just going all in onto one strat, and if the strat works, great, but I feel like they're kind of putting themselves in a little bit of a corner if things aren't going to work out too well for them. I mean, the Desolator against a PA, if you're not hitting the PA with that blur, then it's going to be a lot of net worth wasted.
They are scouting out 3 heroes at the moment. Well, CML has his blink in the arsenal. Still waiting to see that next item for Mac. He's taking a lot more of a backseat here from the position to Magnus, but CML will get the jump. Don't even have to worry about dropping the Finger of Death. He's happy just letting the other cores get the kill.
He's not getting very lucky with these camps, though. He was wanting to mana drain someone just to be able to get back up to full. They actually found Boomy here.
So raw use without any extra follow-up. He's even going to drop the Sonic Wave. Nice pushback. And that's enough. Boomy's been using this Sonic Wave really well so far this game. Top lane, Nico finding the start of the Monkey King. Follow-up's just a bit too late from Natsumi. But you see how whenever CTM's showing on the map, they're really looking to slow down his farm.
Yeah, but he's at least been able to finish up this Desolator now. So they win any fight right now on Boom, they're immediately going to transfer it into
Natsumi. It's a greedy wave.
Where are you going?
Looks like he's going to be penalized, and Mac can set up for the RP to keep them alive. The Soul binds in. The cleave has to be enough to go through there, but the goddamn tanky on Dire. Wukong's out. Natsumi's gone. Mac's going to join him as well. An ambitious temp from Nico's answered by the Dragon Tail. And that is the window that Boom were looking for. One mistake into Roche.
I really like the way that they were playing around the top side of the map. Obviously, it's important to punish someone like Natsumi who is farming that aggressively, but, it's the right side of the map to be making these sorts of plays. Serverlord obviously sees that it's happening, but nothing they can do about it. Mac, he's been playing really well this game. I appreciate the fact that he was trying to go for the turnaround, realizing that, if they did lose that fight, it was almost definitely going to be a Roche. Didn't end up working for them. It's just one of those encounters where, unfortunately for them, the Desolator and the Coup de Grace procs weren't enough to be able to take out the key damage deals on Boom's side.
I mean, is this just same as game 1 almost? I guess, you know, Boom didn't get ages in game 1, but they were down, you know, a decent amount of net worth, decent amount of kills as well. And one fight, they're back in the game, and well, they're about to have the net worth lead, and it feels like now they can really just start to snowball the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that they take Roche and they take the tower, but what else does it mean? You know, Yopaj has been able to pick up that BKB for himself, so he's not worried about anything outside of the RP right now.
He's jumping into all 4 here. Natsumi again. Might just be another mistake from the Phantom Assassin. The rest of the team aren't fast enough to keep him alive. A 1-for-1, but a hell of a trade for Boom. As Yopaj looking to catch more as well, jumping over the tree line to find the lion.
It's a big death to be given up. You know, you can't be affording to do that when so much of your draft is based around enabling you. You know, you've got the Magnus, you've got these heroes that are just wanting to create chaos on the front lines. Nico will be fine for now, but the tower probably won't be. They'll need to pop the glyph if they're looking to try and stop any kind of aggressive move here. And you've even got CTM not getting the lucky shot proc, unfortunately, but that Desolator forcing the Fortify coming through from Polaris. They're hitting their timings, you know. Early game didn't go as well as they wanted it to, but a couple of key mistakes by Natsumi is all that it takes for them to be right back in things.
They're setting up as well down bottom. That Observer still by the outpost is going to scout out Mac. Might just have to go for RP into TP. He doesn't have enough mana now. They do at least have the outpost, so the TP starting to flow on out.
Oh, misses.
CML, the only one at the moment, yeah, with the miss of the Earth Spike will cost the life of Mac and more than likely the Lion as well. CTM. 3 hits. Oh no.
Well, I said we could be seeing about a 25-minute game come out for Boom. I wasn't expecting the first 17 minutes to go quite so well for Polaris, but I mean, what a big swing that's happened in the last 5. Have a look at that win probability graph as well. It's just dropped off. Harder than Tesla.
Now T2 tower under siege.
No RP as well, right? Like, this is one of the things, sure, it's good to try and, you know, preserve your own life, but not if it means that there's absolutely nothing stopping Boom from pushing it forward. It feels like the one thing that might enable them to come back into this game, especially, you know, Boom, they've got a pushing lineup. So I was thinking maybe they might try and push up with this Aegis. If they do that, maybe you can bait them out. Maybe you hit the godly RP, push them back into your towers with the skewer. They don't have the glyph, but, you know, you should be able to get a good amount of follow-up damage onto that. But I feel like unless Boom is literally inside your base on top of your tier 4 towers, you're going to have a rough time taking them out.
Going high ground versus the Mag's not easy. Yopaj has to be perfect with his counter initiation whenever Mag finds the jump.
They got no RP. They don't have skewer talent, so the range is just so small.
CTM. They're actually going to lead in with Nico's Rolling Thunder, but an instant roar gives them an opportunity to reset the positioning. They'll target through CTM's first life. Let's see if he can BKB Wukongs to give them an opportunity to reset the team fight. Yopaj is actually back in. They'll be able to bring down Nico. The Wukong just giving them opportunity to set up the formation. The tier 3 tower down. Boom, do they still want to stick around though?
There's no reason not to, right? There's no RP, there's no Rolling Thunder.
Mac will start. Just the Enchantress and measly old support. Boom, not able to protect him. Gotta get out now, CTM. Might have overstayed his welcome. They must some space, instant detection. They're still holding the backline. Yopaj gonna look to jump. Now with the double stun, finds both the supports. CTM still hiding the tree line as well, but a buyback coming through. Natsumi, meanwhile, dealing with the backline. They've kited out the BKB charge from Yopaj, just gonna have to look to prevent his own death at all costs, and it looks like he will do so successfully.
Well, we'll see how long he looks to stick around. He's got that Blink Dagger available, Yopaj, if he wanted to make a bit more of an aggressive jump forward. Be careful here. He'll want to go on CML, but I think that's too aggressive, even for Yopaj. So, I mean, they're able to defend, and quite surprisingly, without RP, without Sonic Wave, without the Finger of Death, those were all expended just for an Aegis.
CTM's under a ward. Oh. CML doesn't have Finger of Death. They need to get pretty goddamn lucky with the crits here. Maybe even bashes as well.
Okay.
Now, there is one crit from Natsumi. That's all they needed. And, I mean, we got a Game of Throws at the moment.
Is it a throw? I feel like it was some good gameplay coming out from Polaris, right? They hit a good skewer on. It was just onto Tim's, so they probably didn't need to commit quite so much. But at the same time, Natsumi made sure to jump the backlines and force so much more emphasis on the supports having a rough time. It wasn't one of these games where, you know, boom supports are just able to free cast.
I've been trouble, Yopaj. Great timing with the BKB. Will prevent any way from them having some rebuttal.
I mean, Natsumi can legitimately just pop people now, though. He's got the Skull Basher, he's level 20, he has a nice, you know, Vambrace, pretty good neutral item, but the extra armor corruption on top of that, like Enchantress, even with that plate mail, it feels like a bit of a necessity coming through there. They're just trying to stop, because realistically, there's nothing huge in terms of single target outside of the Lion, and most times, Lion is going to be jumping you before you have a chance to get that Lotus going. So I feel like maybe...
Oh, they're gonna run into the Enchantress. Poor Ench. Oh, Natsumi's even got the Axe Shard now as well. Okay.
Okay. Good against the Monkey King, good against the Dragon Knight, good against the Beastmaster, good against the Enchantress. Why not?
So what are you trying to say is it's a great Axe Shard this game?
I'd say it's a great Axe Shard most games, honestly. And, you know, especially against, what, a couple of strength heroes, particularly the Dragon Knight, who itemizes a lot into strength anyway, and could look to go the plus 20 strength talent at level 20, which he's getting pretty close to. That max HP damage that it's able to do is fantastic.
Yeah, I think this Axe Shard, you still even go for it if there's no one you're looking to break. Like you said, the max health, I mean, 16% damage is a lot. You see Max playing a little bit more, yeah, of this utility mag, I suppose. I mean, of course, nothing like we saw at TI with the Axe Shard, but it's, you know, BKB 8th Lens is building into Refresher. So they feel like their team fight is enough to overwhelm Boom.
What are we working towards next here on Natsumi? He's going into the Satanic. Looks like they're getting close to the Lincoln Sphere as well on Nico. Again, it feels very similar to the sort of timing that FBZ had last game, where they're looking to try and get something with the remainder of this smoke as they continue to farm in this area around the Observer. What hasn't been scouted out just yet, so might be able to find CTM, but the Hawk fighting all the vision that Boom could possibly want to be able to avoid this. And they might even be able to get a
they got the
turnaround.
vision. Jumps straight onto the Magnus. That's a target you want to lead in. Prevent the big blink RP. They'll take him out of the fight. Instantly Polaris looking to retreat. And just get the Magnus. Unless Boomy still sticks around. Radiant nearby. Rolling Thunder. Nico going to try and provide some chaos in the middle of the team fight. He's luckily enough the Raw's not available. My god! Yep. Just 4 hit from CTM.
I mean, he's got basically 0 extra stats. Like 1300 HP at the 29-minute mark of the game. Only HP stats coming through from the Magic Wand. So very important that he does get that Lincoln Sphere completed, just to even provide him with that extra layer of tankiness. As well, Boom, they're going to continue to push on forward. Midwave going to push in so that backdoor protection gets disabled. Quickly clear it out, and I mean, at least you've got the RP. Again, it feels like another one of these fights where only way for Polaris to come back in is... Well, going to be able to finish that bottom racks, leave it on 2 HP, why not? But they're just a little bit worried about the blink, skewer, RP sort of gameplay coming out.
I feel like you're going to be really worried for Polaris if you give up this next Roche. With how Boom have been able to show your prevalence to take these fights so incredibly well, their prioritization. Who do you think Radiant need to prioritize in these fights? Who are the key targets for them to have a successful engagement?
Grimm's got to die, or Monkey King needs to get Chain CC to be able to start the fight.
What's the Grimstroke provide, Dire? Is it just the nuisance, you know, Soulbind against all these mobile heroes?
The Soulbind, but also, how many times have we seen the combination come through with Yopaj's Dragon Knight as well as a Bang's Grimstroke, where you just pop the Inkswell onto someone, it's back to 3 seconds duration for the Inkswell. Dragon Tail is a 3-second stun, so you're always able to get an insane level of chain lockdown as Boomy's dead again.
Just blink straight into the middle of the Roche pit. They've also found another support. Positioning so far this game, Natsumi's still going to look to jump, RP out, solely on CTM. They're looking for the burst. That's what you were wanting, CTM. Somehow still alive. A BKB, turbo the Jigger, look at the heal. Oh my. CTM, don't do it to him! How is he not dead? Polaris! They almost killed the monkey, exactly what you were asking for, but CTM survives a slither of health back up to full, and now into Roche they go.
And even just the Grimstroke's impact, right? It's so agonizing when you're this Pangolier, and he's literally centimeters away from the Monkey King, maybe to get the stun off so that they get the kill onto him. But he's just got the Soulbind onto him. He's completely leashed in position, nothing he can do about it. So the fact that Grimstroke was able to be alive, to be able to start that one off, the fact that they weren't able to take out the Monkey King, that's all they needed, right? Like, CTM was able to just jump in with that BKB and man fight after the initial burst wasn't there. And again, very lacking on cooldowns. No RP, no buyback on the PA, no Finger of Death. They'll have the Rolling Thunder in 5 seconds, but that's going to be another lane of racks that you've lost in the meantime.
I mean, do they just go Megas? Why? What's stopping you?
Why not?
Yeah. Not going to be an easy defense at all from Polaris. I mean, especially when you come back, you don't have buybacks available to take a fight with extra numbers. This might push them back, but Dire looks, they're just going to wait it out. I mean, you can really lay down Wukongs if you want.
Creeps are in the base, right? Like, just take out this tower first and foremost. Don't get baited in by any kind of heroes, and now the supports can actually
you
look
gotta
to enter
jump.
the base.
You can't let CTM drop Wukongs. They're not even going to need it to take the objectives.
They want RP. They realize that RP's it. I mean, they've just got Tims. That's not a win condition.
Not at all. I mean, Dire, they're so happy.
He doesn't. I was about to say. RP, Finger, Sonic Wave used for the position 4 Enchantress.
But no RP, no RP. Let's just back up now. Just back up.
Okay. The game is saved. We have RP.
Let's go.
For the Mega Creeps.
Well, I mean, they do have a lineup to do with Megas, if that's anything. We're going to be here for a while if they can come back. Dude, come on, there's got to be silver linings. Let's.
Are you at a fast food joint because you are clutching at straws right now?
I mean, are you a Polaris hater? What's going on?
Dude, I am a Mega Creep comeback non-believer.
Duh.
Bounty.
Sounds like a Salt Lord to me. Have you done a fast food chain tier list? I know you were a tier list fanatic for quite some time.
I'll do a tier list of anything. I'm not giving these people free advertisement. You know, my word is law, you know? So they'll take it and run with it.
What, so you're not going to say what's S tier?
I mean, I'll say the type of food. Like, chicken and chips is God tier.
You're not going to say the chain or the brand?
I mean, charcoal.
What? That's not... That's just not what I mean.
Well, no, the brand is bad. Is what I'm saying.
It's
got to be the homegrown stuff. For people that haven't had chicken salt before, that's an Australian thing. Other places don't have chicken salt.
Chicken salt's banging. Oh my god.
Put it on your chips.
Wait, is that really not...
It's an Australian thing.
Wow. I mean, that probably sounds crazy though, because it really doesn't like... When you think of chicken salt, it just doesn't taste what I would expect it to be.
It just tastes like umami, basically. Like
what's umami? I can't.
just that visceral reaction of what the fuck is umami? But it's like the flavor palette that's like a perfect combination of like savory and sweet and bitter and all. It's like the god tier of what you're basically looking to go for in terms of flavor. Which is what chicken salt is.
Yeah, chicken salt.
We've got about this for long enough.
Yeah, Flash is in, straight on top of Mac. He's got to buy back to hopefully provide some RP opportunity. They've killed off the Grimstroke, CTM as well, but still Tims. This goddamn heals, but the nature's attendance makes it so difficult. They'll kill off the first life. Let's see if they can play with the RP on the second, skew up further and further back towards the fountain, but it's not going to be an easy kill at all. RP laid down before the BKB and the Wukongs will give them some hope for Polaris to at least stall out this fight. Tims as well. He's trying to hide down in the southern tree line, but another skewer back to his demise as Polaris. Well, a decent fight. They probably need another 5 of them.
Yeah. They use the buyback on the Magnus, so I don't feel like they're going to be feeling too bad about Boom. They're still obviously going to have all the lanes passively pushing in, which is great. It feels so weird to say The big timing for Polaris is Magnus hitting level 20 for the skewer range to get them back into the fountain. Like, it feels like there's no way that they're going to be able to come back outside of that. With a few lucky crits coming through from Natsumi, where they don't have buybacks, and you're able to quickly push the lanes out and maybe somehow make a miracle happen.
It does really feel like we're playing off the back of, like you said, this mag skewer. So, you know, let's talk a little about the Ag shot. You know, we haven't seen mag in quite some time. I want to know your opinions about the Horn Toss. Do you feel like this is something that is very, very situational now? Is it just absolutely trash? Do we ever see it? Is this the game for it?
I mean, you could look to react to it, right? You can BKB while you're getting Horn Tossed, so it's you don't have that same level of chain lockdown as you did previously. So I feel like it's not dead, but it's certainly nowhere near as strong as it used to be. And I gotta say, thank the Lord for that, because my pubs were filled with a lot of Collapse haters and lovers and people that just wanted to abuse it for MMR. And well, thankfully, they are back in the bin where they belong.
Bottom is missing.
Natsumi's working on a Nullifier next. It's going to give him some capability to go off the Grimstroke. I mean, the Enchantress as well will help out a lot.
Yeah, they've got Ghost Scepter as well on FBZ. I feel like that's a big portion of it as well.
Oh, yep.
Even just him staying alive in these team fights, just next to or close enough to the Monkey King, so that Inner Beast is useful with the Satanic and the Jingu is going to be, you know, fantastic for CTM's survivability if he isn't getting completely chain locked down. They're going for a smoke, and RP has just come off cooldown. So who are they going to be able to pick off? I mean, someone's got to reveal on this bottom side of the map. You know, eventually they'll see Natsumi under the blur doing it. But the question is now, do you have the follow-up for any kind of initiation that comes through? They're eventually going to walk back inside their base. They're wisely playing around their triangle here on Boom, just continuing to farm up. They've got good coverage altogether.
Oh, Mac?
Mac?
Oh my. Nico's even going to jump in as well.
I don't
This
know about
communication from Polaris, so wasted Rolling Thunder. They're still trying to find the opener on FBZ. Nullify should offer them an easy pick-off on the Beastmaster. He's not dead just yet until now. A crit to bring him through, but they've wasted so much time. It's forced Natsumi to Phantom Strike down to the southern side. It's going to attempt the TPR. Will be successful, but the base is in shambles. Tier 4's under siege.
Yeah, it's a heavy commitment. Of course, Pango buying back. Not going to be able to do too much outside of, like, use the Swashbuckle for the disarm with a lucky shot. And yeah, it was just coming down to miscommunication again, coming through there with Mac blinking out. It meant that there was no way that they were going to be able to follow up that Rolling Thunder. And, well, at least they get the buyback on FBZ. That's something. But you just saw how effective that Nullifier was in being able to take him down through the Ghost Scepter.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Alright, do you finish Abyssal or do you go Rapier on Natsumi? What's the... Oh, Natsumi's just gonna jump a bang. Another instant pick off, level 25 now.
I wonder what he goes for talent-wise. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the coup de grace. Just, you need to pop someone. You need to get them in that burst, particularly like the Monkey King before he's able to get the Satanic off. So I like that. It's not about, you know, the damage numbers at the end of the game, throwing out the triple daggers, critting onto multiple people, but if they don't die, it doesn't mean shit. You gotta actually kill people.
Yep.
So, and this cast has become really Australian.
I feel like that's what everyone's here for. Just learn our Aussie cast. What's swearing?
He is going for the Rapier as well. I like it.
Well, you were saying
you're
just
in a position
damage.
where you've been Megan. Yep. Pure damage, burst one person down, move to the next. I mean, if they're able to take the next Roche, that'd be a big timing, especially if it's, honestly, it's third Roche, right?
Yes.
So if it's Refresher, great for Magnus. If it's Aghanim Scepter, great for Natsumi, right? Like, you just want to make sure that you can refresh all of your cooldowns constantly just jump from person to person, and just take them out one by one by one.
Honestly, that pick-off, like, even though it's on a support, you really don't think of it as much, but it gives Radiant now a lot of map control to play with. They've shoved out the lanes, they've been able to get a nice ward down in the mid lane, top as well by the secret shot. That's perfect. The only issue is now, you have to continue to play around this top ward, because if you lose it, then your capability to contest Roche really diminishes.
Well, it's going to be up in another 10 seconds to be able to deal with the Ogre doing his duty, just standing around. Come on, Ogre. Look at his portrait. He's looking a little bit like me after quarantine with that triple chin coming through. And Roche is up. It is the Ags. So could this be the dream for Polaris. If they're able to pick it up, give it over to the PA, I honestly give them a solid chance at being able to take a team fight if Natsumi plays perfectly. You know, it's a big ask for sure, especially with how disconnected they are. They're just going for the full burst potential here with CML connected. Oh, they actually ended up getting the stun onto him. But still feeling a little bit scared, understandably.
So Natsumi did finish the Abyssal Blade as well. So...
Okay.
They even gave him the tome. What's the 26? Another... Or 4 seconds if he gets the dagger cooldown. Is there anyone else that's like close to 25? I mean, everyone else is pretty far away. I don't think any like CMOs.
Lion's level 20 talents aren't amazing.
Yeah.
So, well, never mind about that axe on the PA because it's going over to Boom. And yep, just Yopaj has it. So that's just going to help with their siege even further. Now you've got the Ancient Black Dragon to deal with. You've also got the AoE Dragon Tail as well now that he's level 25. So things just got from hard to even more hard for Polaris to be able to counter this. Even just having the Wild Wing Ripper for the extra 3 armor, just to maybe protect that little bit further against the PA being able to burst you down.
This has given some time for the buybacks to maybe come back up, but Max still needing a little bit of gold for this. Is really close to Refresher as well. We'll see if he just commits to that, maybe selling something, and I think he did, so Refresher now up. He's got the Ag Shard queued as well.
Feels a little desperate, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he's actually got the smoke. He's going to use it just to try and, you know, get in the perfect position for a lot of these team fights. Boomy doing his best to push these waves out, but he's going to need to join them shortly.
Yopaj does a lot of damage on these towers. You see what he can do with that buffed up Elder Dragon form. One T4
doesn't have
gone.
mana to TP back. He's waiting for his mana to come back.
Oh no. And they smoked on Radiant. Honestly, every smoke is so important from a lineup that needs to play with that jump. I'll try and go once again on the Enchantress. We saw previous defense. They led him with the Enchantress kill. It gave them time to get out across the map.
And this is with the Lincolns on the Pangolier. So he feels like he could just play around and be this bit more aggressive. Obviously not afraid of being roared up by FBZ. Although he could. I mean, it's a Refresher Beastmaster. There's nothing stopping him from just roaring him twice.
All in all, I mean, it's at 13,000 net worth lead. Somehow, even though they have mega creeps, which is a bit surprising. But you kind of expect them to be so far ahead, but it really feels like you're just playing off the back of a one-call lineup almost. Natsumi is so far ahead of anyone else on Radiant in terms of net worth. All comes down to team fight. And honestly, that's going to get a lot easier to execute, I think, at daytime. It'll just, you know, enable their positioning on Polaris, Mac, Nico, even CML as well to find the jump.
I mean, the thing is as well with Natsumi, like, how much stronger is he legitimately going to be after this? Like, it's a BKB, and, you know, I feel like they had a pretty good initiation there onto Tim's just to be able to start that fight out, and they still were able to take a tier 4 tower. So they're just going to continuously look to keep chipping this down. You've still got 2 and a bit minutes on the Aegis. I think it's a Skadi now completed as well for CTM. Doesn't have buyback just yet, but he's not really caring all that much. He just wants another item to be able to have so that he can swap it in if he does end up dying.
Do you feel like there's perfect reason on how Boom are playing this worried, I suppose?
I think it's just respect for the fact that, you know, like I mentioned when they were first trying to go onto the high ground, the only way it feels like Polaris are coming back into this game is with, like, the Dream Skewer into the fountain. So just got to make sure no one's super
So if they can pop the Lincolns, they'll do so thanks to the bomb dive.
And then it's just, oh, actually, good job, though.
Natsumi, once again, trying to jump the Enchantress, roars out. The second roar's going to come through shortly afterwards. The RP solely used on Tim's, and now with a mass AoE on the Wukong's command, everyone's getting ripped apart. The Wukong army going to work. Tier 4 is down, throne exposed. Yopaj will deal with another hero without buyback, and now objective-based gaming. Boom is going to try and make as much space as possible. I mean, Nico's just nowhere to be seen, and Throne's gone. So,
yep.
There we go.
It was inevitable, basically. Yeah. Like PA wasn't getting any stronger. I feel like maybe if they were able to contest that Roche somehow, you know, and get the Aghanim Step to get a favorable team fight for them, you know, they had a small chance. But it's so hard into Mega Creeps, which is why this sort of lineup that Boom has is just incredibly effective, right? Like, all the lanes are constantly shoving in. You're going to have complete information. You've got a Beastmaster on top of everything, able to scout out with his Hawk, as well as any kind of units. They had complete map control over the triangle as well, so understanding the vision game was all in Boom's favor. It just felt like a really good overall draft from Boom that they executed well after that 17-minute mark. I was thinking, well, maybe Polaris would be able to take it considering how aggressive they were able to get with taking that tier 1 mid tower around 8 minutes. But at the end of the day, the full-on push strat was just way too much.
Yeah, unfortunate for them. Polaris, I think there's still silver linings. I think with how they were able to show some really strong performances in regards to the laning phase and the early game in both game 1 and game 2. And they have a little bit of time to try and clean up their act heading into the playoffs, which should be starting in about 2 days. I mean, unfortunately for them, they're going to be starting in the lower bracket, so they'll only have one opportunity to make an incredible run through. But yeah, against a team that is almost, I mean, we don't know yet. Boom finished 13-3, so they at the moment are top of the table, but Motivate is shortly behind them at a 10-2 map count, and they still have 2 series to play as well. So Motivate might jump up on top, but for Polaris, yes, they weren't able to take any maps. They didn't take the series against Boom, but I think there's some things they can definitely take out of this that they should be happy about. Again, the laning phase, the early game, if they can clean up that act, they definitely had drafts that were enabled and could give them a chance to take the game, but there's just some things they have to work on a little bit, and hopefully these next coming days will just give them that opportunity.
It's like my and what theory, it felt like they were really good at the start of some games, both of them, honestly, right? And they were able to come out with a good solid net worth lead to be able to start things out, but there was never that overall, like, this is what's going to win us the game strategy that they had, or if there was, the enemy teams was just a little bit stronger or came online a little bit sooner, regardless of how the lanes went. So I think that's the key thing that Polaris can look to take out of this one. They'll finish the group stage on 6-10, same as Army Geniuses and Execration. I would say that I'm not sure how they're going to do it, like with where each one is placed. If I had to put a bet on who would be playing who, I would say probably Polaris against Execration, just because Polaris 2-0'd Army Geniuses, so they might be above them on the table. But I don't know, like this league has been so like, this team beats this team, but then this team beats this team, and then that team beat that team, So it's like, who knows who's playing what? We'll leave that up to the admin side of things. But that means that there are 3 teams locked into the lower bracket. 1 lower bracket spot remaining, 3 left in the upper bracket, which is what the next series is going to start to decide, which I'm pretty keen for. OB Neon versus Motivate Trust.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how that one's going to fare. Again, it will be Neon's last series of the group stage as Motivate. They still have 2 more series as well. We'll send to a break. Second one coming up shortly.